ridiculous. Call for a personal foul.
That was absolutely ridiculous.
The Boston Bruins have won the Stanley Cup.
Up on down. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. Red Sox win the World Series.
I don't know. It's tough. Tom's up there, man. Being tough.
Hey, go.
Watch.
Are you ready for some football?
I love the Patriots.
Alright, well, this is not the video that I expected to do today either. I expected to do the press conference with Robert Kraft, where he was talking to the media about Bill Belichick's time here in New England. Well, already, and very early, by the way, the New England Patriots have already hired their new coach. The Patriots are hiring Jerod Mayo as the next coach. You want my opinion on it? It's another defensive-minded coach. I would have liked to have seen them at least interview Mike Vrabel, Jim Harbaugh, or some other candidate. But apparently, the New England Patriots promised Jerod Mayo the next head coaching position after Bill Belichick a while ago. And I guess he's liked in the locker room from these players. So maybe this is why they went with it early. I don't know. He should have just read the room. It's way too early to announce a new head coach, in my opinion. It's okay if you already know who your next guy is going to be, but like to announce it this early, yeah, it's been a little over 24 hours since Bill Belichick's been fired. And they already announcing their new head coach? It's weird, man. It's really weird. We're going to react to Zolak and Bertrand's reaction to Jerod Mayo being the next head coach of the New England Patriots. I like Jerod Mayo, don't get me wrong, but I would have liked to have seen an offensive-minded coach come in here because, again, the offensive side of the ball is much, much, much worse than the defensive side of the ball. So maybe somebody who has a little bit of offensive mind come in and fix up the offense would have been great. But I mean, I don't hate it. I don't necessarily hate it. I like the fact that they're going with somebody who is liked in the locker room and has been here for years. I do like that at least. We're just going to have to wait and see. Leave a thumbs up if you guys enjoy these videos. Subscribe now if you guys know what to do. Go check out the website. The link's in the description down below. Without further ado, let's hop straight into this video.
Jerod Mayo will be named as the next head coach of the Patriots. The team, because they had a succession plan that was contractual and also filed with the league, they're able to bypass any interview process. They don't have to interview anyone. Jerod Mayo can be named head coach and will be named head coach officially in the coming days, and a press conference is expected next week.
That's pretty quick.
Yeah, it is.
Because I never even considered, having a succession plan to where you sort of bypass all that. I thought this was going to take a week or two.
The only thing I like about this is that they have a plan. You know what I mean? They already have a plan of, like, the post-Bill Belichick era. That's the only thing I really like about this. And, I mean, I like the name. I like Mayo. He's a good coach. He's been a good coach on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, we'll see what he does on the offense and how he fixes it, but I don't hate it.
Here for the last couple of days, kept pointing at my clock like, hey, let's go. Teams are hiring right now. You didn't want to get caught behind the 8-ball. But now comes the question, do you know who the GM 2 is? I think they might. And I think they might. I think they're going to hire Elliott Wolf as the GM. That's just a prediction. I don't know that for a fact, but I think they like Elliott. I think he's a good football guy. Obviously coming up or being around his family. And I think he needs to do his own thing. He's interviewed for these spots
he's a scout for the Patriots?
And, working here and being alongside Jerod. I know Bill made final call. But still, you're there every day. I think you know how the defense works, the type of players Jerod is going to want to have. And you know the problems you got on offense. And I think you start on offense trying to fix that right away if you're the new GM. That's just taking a shot.
Ian Rappaport did report this morning the team will hire a GM. And he tweeted a little while ago that as the Patriots plot out a new direction and set out to hire a GM, a few names to consider with ties to New England. Former Raiders GM Dave Ziegler, former Titans GM John Robinson, Chiefs assistant GM Mike Borgonzi.
That would be nice.
Yeah, he's a local guy. He's got ties.
Italian.
Yeah, he's from the area.
I don't care.
49ers assistant GM Adam Peters.
He'll be gone first.
And Bengals executive Trey Brown. Those are the names.
I'll take Mike Bergonzi, I'll take Adam Peters, and I'll take Trey Brown. Because those guys are GM or assistant GMs in successful systems. Chiefs, 49ers, Bengals. I know Bengals have been struggled this year because they didn't have Joey Burrow, but I'll take any one of those three.
Names that Ian Rappaport has thrown out there. You have said that Elliott Wolf would be a good internal candidate.
Yep.
Who else did you mention yesterday? As a
Don't mind if I blow on those. I'm a little
Cam
bit sick
Williams.
right now.
Cam Williams
Working under him. Yeah.
could
I don't know if I
be
said that
someone who
already,
factors into the front office. Maybe not as GM, but
Yeah,
with
keep
an
an eye on
elevated
him.
role.
Yeah.
It's oddly specific that Zoe's thrown out there. Elliott Wolf and Cam Williams. So we will remember that, Zoe.
Yeah.
Zostradamus. All right, let's get back to the head coaching, though, and that is Jerod Mayo being the head coach. Your thoughts on it?
I think he's a good guy, good man.
Yep.
I've known Jerod for a long time.
Yep.
I've talked to multiple people that aren't even players, and I have talked to players that said they will run through a wall for him. Now, is that just a bump because it's something new, or is that going to go on every week? The one thing I do worry about Mayo is in-game management. Okay, you can manage a defense. It's everything else, staring at the clock, staring at the sideline. Look at their substitutions, the stuff Bill does. And you see every head coach, and they get the big Cheesecake Factory menu, and they stare at it. Bill doesn't do that. Jerod doesn't do that either. Sort of his own thinker. But he can control the defense. Can he control the whole team? And can he make the only thing I worry about is the inexperience in-game. That's where Vrabel would have had the advantage over him.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying they should have got Vrabel. If you love this guy and you're in love with Jerod Mayo and you feel comfortable that he's going to turn this thing around for you, you hire him.
True.
And that's what they
True.
did.
Yes. Good point.
I just wonder, did it enter into their mind, given that this is clearly a sped-up process from what they envisioned when they made the commitment that he was going to be their next head coach, right? I mean, they figured that's next year or the year after.
Right.
Belichick's got more time left than this.
Well, Bill screwed it up.
And so
He did.
was there
Very
any
true.
hesitation at all in pulling the trigger and going to Mayo right away, especially if you're not even going to, not even doing interviews, not even going outside of the company echo chamber to see what other prospects might be out there, that maybe there would be somebody that you liked as much or better than Mayo who might be a better fit?
Right.
They probably did their homework. This process probably
They probably
started,
did.
when Kern had a report going back to, October or whatever month we were in Germany. Probably even before that. When you got your ass kicked by the Saints and when you got your ass kicked by the Cowboys, you start looking around thinking, we might not be a good team. Well, we got problems. We might fix things at the end of this year. But that's a good question, Ryan. Like, who else can be out there? What hot offensive coordinator? And a lot of people thought, Jonathan would go towards an analytical guy. He's into the analytics of sports. This is another defensive-minded head coach. A lot of people don't like that.
Well, I think what you're hitting on is sort of the timeline. And because the timeline was accelerated, did it give them any pause? Did it get them to stop and say, is this what it is that we want to do? And I think that what we've learned over the last, let's say, year, I would even go back to the comments that Robert Kraft made on, was it Squawk Box? Was it CNBC? When he said about Bill Belichick, he said, you'd have to ask him, how much longer does he want to coach? We thought, well, that's kind of a weird comment. You're leaving it up to Bill and as far as his contract and how much longer he wants to coach. And I think he legitimately wanted to coach 2 more years, and that's why they signed it up the way they did. Jerod Mayo's contract was set to expire after next year, as was Bill's. So Bill said, I'm going to do this for 2 more years. I'm going to break that record, and we'll see where this goes, and we'll be in a better place, and then Jerod can take over. And it's really being accelerated by 1 year's time, is what it comes down to.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
They're 1 year ahead of where they thought they would be. They thought this would be happening next offseason. And so I would say, if this was your plan to do it a year from now, what's the difference in doing it now?
Right.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, in terms of your hesitation and your thought process and
That's
what you're
true
going to
also.
decide on, why would you decide against him now if a year ago you were already deciding he was going to be the guy after this coming season?
Yeah, you got to help
It's
build
not
the
enough
staff.
of a gap.
Right.
And he's been drawing interest now for a few years. as a head coaching candidate. He's had interviews. He interviewed with the Eagles. He turned down the Panthers last year when they tried to interview him.
He wanted to be
it's
here.
not as if he's not a candidate already out there. So it's 1 year. Is 1 year going to stop you from hiring? And also,
Right.
you have to factor in, they put this in a succession plan in a contract and filed it with the league, which is how they're able to get around any interview process right now. A little known rule. And we didn't know that they had done this.
Never
They
talked
did.
about
They
it.
promised this guy the job.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
been cleared up.
Yep.
He was promised the gig. So are you now going to hire someone else over Jerod Mayo after you have contractually set this up for him to be the successor?
If-
You're not going to do that.
If it
No,
didn't
you're
go
not.
according to plan, then yeah, I'm at least going to see what's out there on the market.
Right.
I-
That's what
I
I
think
wish
I would
they
have
did,
taken a
if
couple of
anything.
weeks and said, you know what, we need to do some interviews. Let's go through the Rooney Rule. Let's bring in some people on the outside. I think it was Bert on the morning show this morning talked about when the Steelers hired Mike Tomlin. They were ready to hire Ken Wisenhunt, and they brought Tomlin in just because, and he was so impressive they decided to go a different direction. So, you know,
Didn't that kind of happen with Flo down in Miami too? Was it
Right.
Miami. I thought Miami was
think
going to
you're-
go
I
a
think
different
you're
Yeah.
But they didn't promise
Right.
Ken Wisenhunt the job. It
Right.
wasn't contractually set up years in advance.
you know what? It wasn't what we thought. Also, our team just went 4-13.
Okay, here's what I
we
would
might
ask.
need to do a top to bottom clean out here because things have gotten
Yeah, you are.
way worse than
That's
we
what-
thought
exactly
they were
If
going
you
gonna have
thought
to
a
do.
year ago Jerod Mayo was your next head coach, what has Jerod Mayo done that would have changed your mind? He had a good year.
I thought
Defense had a good year.
Yeah, they
defense
did.
was
They
good.
were not the
So
problem.
What changes your mind?
You lost your two
Defense-
best players on defense, and you still had a competitive, very good defense.
Yes.
And then that report came out about him rubbing people the wrong way, and I thought he answered that fantastically. Yeah, it's my job as a leader.
I think the bigger question is, Ryan, because I sort of agree with you. I just disagree with now that you've done it, now you backtrack and open it up. Why did you contractually
Why did you
promise
commit to him for the first
Yes.
in the first place?
That to me is a better criticism of this. Why did they do this? Why did they put themselves in that box?
I also have serious problems with having a head coach in place, and now you're going to go find a GM. Now it's
They may have it.
Well, see, and there's a problem too.
I-
you need to get out.
You know what he's saying? You know what he means by that? He means that you already have a head coach in place. Now you got to go find a GM. What if the GM doesn't want Jerod Mayo as the head coach? What if he wanted his own guy? That's what he's saying. It's a hard task.
Outside the echo chamber here, right? You got a 4-13 record, and you're basically going to bring back the same crew minus Bill Belichick.
Right.
Put people in different roles, but it's the same people.
Where are the fresh eyes and fresh ideas coming from?
Yes. Who's Dr. No in the organization? Since Robert brought that up
that's a good
yesterday,
point.
right? Who's saying to him, maybe it wouldn't help to or wouldn't hurt to talk to somebody outside the organization right now.
Right. All right. That's going to do it for this video here. Leave a thumbs up if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe down if you guys new. You guys know what to do. Go check out our website. Links in the description down below. Let me know what you guys think of the Patriots hiring Jerod Mayo as the next head coach. You guys agree with it? You guys disagree with it? Are you guys okay with it? Are you guys in the middle? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I'm in the middle of it. It's got its pros and cons. But again, if they feel like this is their guy, this is who they have to go with. And if he's respected in the locker room already, there's nothing really wrong with that. Can he turn this Patriots season around next season? Can he coach an entire team? He's great on the defensive end, but can he coach the offensive side of the ball as well? That's my biggest question. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. It's been your boy Jesse, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Later, guys.